no longer a Black American. Yes, I was told that Black Americans do not have African DNA. And because my ancestry came back sitting at an 86.4% African ancestry, I am an African. I am not a Black American.
Black Americans taking their ancestry DNA test. Yes, this is going to be a good one, baby. So before we get into it, if it's your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you leave a like on the video and also hype up the video. We're trying to get it in the algorithm. So let's go.
Surprised. I am Black. 74% Black to be exact, but I'm going to say 75. I'm rounding numbers up. And most of my DNA comes from Nigeria. 34% on the Black side, and before they wanted more money, 23 and me said what part of Nigeria, and they said it was Adamawa State. Okay, I'm not surprised because I'm half Black American, and most Black Americans, the first place they come from in Africa is Nigeria. Second is Ghana, Liberian, Sierra Leone, and West Africa too. That's 25%, and that's from my Caribbean side mostly, because from the Bahamian side, they first and foremost ancestors come from Ghana. So I'm not surprised. It seemed about accurate. Before I got the DNA test, my family said this, especially by the Ghana side. Then the rest of the African side, Central African, Angolan, Congolese is separated. Then the rest, broadly Sub-Saharan African, 0.5%. I think that's from South Africa because my brother did his own ancestries and he got connections to the, I think they call San people in South Africa. All right, then my second half of my DNA, to my surprise, white, European. Okay, Northwest European descent is why I speak English. British and Irish ancestry, Lancashire, United Kingdom, then French and German, and then, you know, I think the 10% is German side, because my last name is from German descent. And then let's see the rest. You know, they've been saying I have Indian in my family for years. My mother been saying that, so let's see. 1% Middle Eastern, or 0.8% to be exact. This is a surprise to me because my mother was saying we got India in my family for years, but I'm more Middle Eastern than Native American. I barely got any Native American DNA. And if you want to see the little bits and parts, Native American, little, barely anything, and here's the rest. So this is my DNA. Technically, I am mixed, just like everybody else in America. Well, most of the people in America. I'm going to say Black because most of my DNA is Black.
So I shared my DNA results on TikTok and some very interesting things happened. One, I found out that I am no longer a Black American. Yes, I was told that Black Americans do not have African DNA. And because my ancestry came back sitting at an 86.4% African ancestry, I am an African. I am not a Black American, so I would be considered an African American. So there has been a clear separation within the community, and I'm here to let y'all know, if you have West African ancestry, you are not a Black American, okay? The Black Americans were already here, okay? They are the owners, they are the inhabitants of the land. They have already been here. Their ancestors did not go through slavery. Their ancestors did not experience colonization, and their ancestors have nothing to do with Africa.
Me personally, I've also taken the DNA test. If you guys haven't seen in some of my other videos, I kind of break down different parts of myself. I have a majority Nigerian. I'm like almost 80% just full African. It's like Nigerian, Angolan, Congolese, Senegal, Ghana, you know, just like a lot of West African places. I even got a little Asian in me, which is crazy. But yeah, man, it's definitely something that I feel like you can hold on to. This is like something that's like, all right, being Black American, we don't necessarily know exactly where we come from, but being able to take tests like this, it's like we can get a little piece of self back. You get me? And man, I'm happy for these people. Hopefully they decide to go a little bit further into their exploration. Maybe they want to go and visit some of these places and see what it's like out there. You know, for me, I've been to Kenya. I don't necessarily have any Kenyan blood in me, but I feel like it was definitely a nice stepping stone for me to go, you know, venture out into places that my ancestors come from and be able to get immersed in the culture, because I kind of have a familiarity with how African societies run, you know.
This is what I've learned. This is what I have come to the conclusion. By the way, I'm not offended to be African at all. Not offended at all. But I do have a couple of questions for you guys. So since you guys have made a clear separation and you are not a part of the African diaspora, my question is, who gets to claim the culture? Because it can't be you. Because the Black American, the African American culture that was built here in the United States was built by the descendants of Africans. And in fact, some of our most famous leaders who helped build the culture never made a separation or said that they have nothing to do with Africa. In fact, Frederick Douglass repeatedly referred to Black Americans as the descendants of Africans. W.E. Du Bois referred to us as part of the African diaspora. He centered Africa as the foundation to the Black identity. Marcus Garvey spoke of Black people globally as African people. His entire movement was built on African origin and pride. Malcolm X described Black Americans as Africans in America. Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, identified as African descent. Even when we look at the Black church, it was built off of the African culture that was brought over here. Its spirituality, its dance can be tracked back to Africa. Our music, the culture that we built, derived from Africa. So if you guys don't claim that, then what is your culture? I would love to.
I'm not really trying to like argue with people, you feel me, about this, but I just like don't understand why people are upset with Black Americans for not knowing what country they're from or whatever, when our DNA results look like this. You know, like, we legit can't give you a definitive answer of what country we're from. Like, that's why we're going to always continue to say America. Like, my grandparents are from America, my grandparents' grandparents are from America. Like, this shit goes all the way back.
I'm not shocked by any of these results that we just witnessed. You know, man, I wonder if any of them expected to have, you know, Indian, indigenous Indian or indigenous American in them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact when I took mine, I didn't expect no Indian, no Hispanic, no none of that to come back on mine, and I was correct. So I'm definitely happy that these people have decided to find out where they come from and who they are. And with all that being said, it's your man Sham. This is Sham Goes Global. I appreciate you guys for watching all the way to the end. And before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button if it's your first time to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button and also hit that hype button and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And until the next one, I'm going to see y'all.